Hello, beautiful Cancer. It's time for your weekly reading. I've pulled out this old tarot deck of mine that I haven't used in forever. I used to be very familiar with it and used it for a very, very long time. Now I have not, so I might have to pick up the cards and put them up to my face because I can't see a damn thing in this light. So we shall see how this goes. Anyway, this is going to be your weekly reading for August 16th to the 22nd, and I hope it's going to be a fantastic week for you. I'm going to do a nice little 12-card reading here. That card wants to pop out. You know, they didn't really feel shuffled enough. I'm not just taking the tower away from you because we don't like the tower. And just saying, usually when they pop out, it's fine, but I just feel like these cards need a bit more of a shuffle. So I'm going to do that because there's just a point where they feel right. I did shuffle a lot off camera, but I like the cards to be very well shuffled so that I know the reading is what it is meant to be. So I am shuffling that little extra few shuffles to make it right and make it feel right. So I hope you're doing fantastically and that your summer is beautiful and that the sun is on your back, like in the card, the sun. And let's hope that we get some really positive cards. I have had a very mixed bag of readings so far today. Some are terrible, some are wonderful. So it's going to be interesting what you guys get. So let's check it out. I'm starting to feel like these cards are where they need to be. Right now. Done. So let's check it out. Who is that? The King of Wands, yay. Some people here, some serious people. That damn thing keeps coming up for a lot of people. Sorrow, heartache. Not a card I like, and probably not a card that anybody would like. So I'm hoping this is not a current thing for you. I'm hoping, well, I shouldn't say that because, you know, sometimes carrying sorrow and pain with you is not good either. So maybe it's best to have something be current and then get it over with, whatever it is. Whatever it is in life, we have to face it, right? We have to. Because we have to get through a lot in this life. It's not always easy. People think that we're not supposed to feel things now, you know, everything's a certain way, we're impervious to pain and everything else, but it doesn't really work that way. I mean, we really have to go through some things. So the card is heartache, it's sorrow, there's some sadness here, whether it's current or whether it's from the past. I have a friend who her father died a couple of years ago, and she gets this card every time, and that's what it's all about, every time. She just can't get past it. And I mean, I'm not saying you ever totally do. There's always going to be some pain, but she misses him so much that she feels the sorrow almost like it's a new fresh wound, and that's very, very difficult. So I'm hoping this is not like that for you. I'm hoping that whatever it is, it's temporary. Sometimes something that feels like it's piercing the heart is a lost love. You know, sometimes the pain is from something like that. So, now these two cards come up together quite a bit. These two here. And there's another one. Did that one come up? No. Okay, so the Eight of Cups is feeling like some passionate part of your life is missing. And the concept is figuratively going off to look for the missing cup, the missing passion in your life. Sometimes this is positive, like you're a young person, you're living at home with your family, your siblings, you love them, but it's time to go off and forge your own future and life and discover what you're passionate about. Sometimes it's not positive. Sometimes it's somebody who has a family and children and they go off with some lover to pursue this thing instead of taking care of the passions that they've already got in play. So it could mean 1,000 things. It could mean that the passion is a new career that you're going to go after, and it requires either a literal move or a figurative move. So it could just be that the passions you're leaving behind are the home you've always known, the place you were born, everything that, you feel like it makes you you, and you haven't done this new thing before, so maybe it's something that you have to pursue. So you'll know what it is for you, and it'll be different for all of you. So there's something going on there. And then this card is the one that we sometimes call the spilled milk card. There's some sorrow over lost something, lost opportunities, missed opportunities, lost love, perhaps. Maybe more than one lost love. Things that have happened, that have hurt you, that have hurt your heart, and you're mourning that. But if you just stop and look at what you actually still have, what you have is probably more valuable than anything you've lost, or it may be. So be grateful for what you've got. I know that sounds like a crappy thing to say. It really does. And I don't mean it that way. It's not like, oh, you've got this and that, so you be thankful for that. I'm not trying to berate you or make you feel like you're not appreciating what you have by being sad. You have every right to be sad and to mourn things and be sorrowful. You probably need to go through that. We do sometimes. I mean, everybody has this idea nowadays that nobody's ever supposed to feel an emotion, and we do have to feel those emotions. They make us what we are. They bring us to a new level of depth in our progression. It's important. Not that I want you to suffer more than you have to or anything, but what I'm saying is for yourself, not only for the other people, for your well-being, latch on to what you've got and nurture it and get what you need from it, and know that there will always be beautiful things for you to be passionate about. You don't have to live in sorrow. I'm hoping this is minor. It will be for some of you, and for some of you it will be more major. But you have lots of passion in you, and you've got lots of exciting times ahead. So just remember that that's what is real. Who is this? The King of Cups. Speaking of passion, the King of Cups is a very passionate individual. He is one who can talk about emotions. I mean, more than most men typically would. He's at the top of his game. He's accomplished. He is passionate about his work as well as his family and home and everything he does. He is one of the people who's like passion personified. His cup flows over. He is a water sign. This could be you, Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. So being that it's Cancer, and if you're a male who's sort of beyond the night stage where you're trying to conquer everything, although do people ever really stop trying to conquer everything? But where you are more accomplished, whether it be in your family life, whether it be in your career. If you're male, typically, slaying dragons in the career department is important to you. It may well be if you're female also. But, a lot of males really identify with that. So I'm not saying women don't. I mean, let's face it, as people, we all have a lot in common. But I'm just sort of pointing out what's typical statistically, because there are exceptions to absolutely everything I'm going to say. Like I'll say Aries are fiery and passionate, and they like to put things into action. Doesn't mean that you're not going to find an Aries who doesn't want to move 2 inches and isn't fiery at all. It happens, okay? But it is the rarity. It really, really, really is. So you guys, this could be you, and you water signs have great intuition. So I'm just going to say always follow your intuition. If this isn't you and it's somebody in your life, might be your dad, might be your husband, might be your friend, whomever this is a person you can typically talk to about relationships and emotions and things of that nature. So maybe whatever's going on here, maybe this person is going to play out in this somehow, or it's you. One of those two situations. So I'm going to guess it's you. And you're a passionate person, so you feel things intensely. So if something is upsetting here and traumatic and all of that jazz, you will feel it more deeply than many other people because you guys are so intuitive and so deep and deep thinkers and deep feelers. So I'm just going to throw that out there. Then we've got the Queen of Swords. Maybe this is your lost lady love. She is a person who is very cut and dried. Doesn't really speak that language of love as much typically. She likes things to be a certain way in a certain time frame. A little cold perhaps, or at least that's the perception, because they're very cut to the chase. They like to get to the truth of the matter, and they like things that are practical. Very, very practical. So sometimes she pops up because she's a reminder to be more practical when we need that in life. You know, I get her all the time. Mind you, I do have a daughter who I would call the Queen of Wands, who's a Libra, and this will be a Libra, Aquarius, or a Gemini, an air sign. Now, sometimes when I am trying to embark on a project or something, and I'm kind of all over the place on it, I will get this Queen of Swords. Of course, I also have the daughter who will also tell me I'm being ridiculous and should adhere to whatever the practical matter is. So maybe that's the case here, or maybe it's a person that you're with or were with, or maybe it's a new person coming in. It'll be different for all of you, but I bet in some manner or other it will somehow apply and make sense. So here we've got, okay, I'm going to put this for later, and we've done our, did we do our King of Wands? No, we didn't do our King of Wands. So you've got all these people. So now we've got the King of Wands. So the King of Wands is a fire sign, Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries. Very strong, very powerful, very much a people person, likes to put things into action. Action, action, action. So depending on who you are, this could be your partner, your lost love, your new love, your best friend, somebody who's going to be significant this week, I'm going to say. He also appears when we need somebody strong telling us to be decisive and put something into action. If this is you, and these are not people you know, it's kind of interesting because these figures are not similar. But if you think about it, being kind of cold-blooded and practical about doing something and putting it into action can meld together and create the actions you need to make happen. So that might be the case here. Then we've got the Page of Wands. Okay, so the Page of Wands is typically a child, teenager, or very, very young person who is also fiery, who is also a people person. They can be extremely funny, very physically active. If you have the kid who never, 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 never stops and never is quiet, it can be the Page of Wands. This person is so full of energy, an absolute ball of fire. You're very lucky if they ever go to bed at night and sleep. I was that kid once, so I totally understand it. So these are many figures that might be in your life, and you have to kind of figure out who's who. But you've got some people to work with, and I'm going to guess this is probably you because it's the only one that's a water sign. Then we've got, let's see, I want to just see the order I want to do this in because you've got some fantastic stuff. We've already done these guys. So you've got some really great stuff here. So even with this darn swords card, you've got some amazing stuff. Okay, we did our Four of Cups already. We did our Four of Cups where you don't want to be missing. Or did we do our Four of Cups? Because I know I had this last time too. My brain's going. So anyway, the Four of Cups is all about not missing something you could be passionate about coming in. Like sometimes you're so focused on the other things you're passionate about or the people you're passionate about that when some new opportunity for something new to be passionate about, like a new person or new hobby or new job or whatever comes in, sometimes we're just too preoccupied to even think about it. So don't miss anything. Really pay attention to what's going on in your life. And then the Five of Cups. Excuse me. Oh, I think I did this one, didn't I? When you have the I'm a mess today. Can't remember which card I've read or not. Hacking my guts out. I'm just a mess. So I do apologize for being a mess. But the thing is that the magic of the cards is in the first laying of the card. You can't just keep doing it over and over again. So if I cough, I can't just go, okay, I'm going to refilm it. You know, yes, I could chop parts out and all that, but it really isn't my style. If I had to edit things, I'd never get done with anything. So I do apologize for all the nonsense. Anyway, this is the one about focusing on what you do have. So don't worry about what you've lost. Worry about what you still have there, what you have to be passionate about, because you have plenty and it's going to be good. Then you've got the Seven of Wands. Now, the Seven of Wands is the card where you're a little bit defensive. Stuff has happened to you, but you're in action. You're doing everything you have to be doing. Perhaps it's like you're a bit sad, but you're going to work every day and doing what you have to do. You know, you're doing all of the things you have to do that are physical things or active things. Whatever it is, you're not stopping. Nothing's putting you completely under. You're going to be okay. And so there's this little bit of defensiveness. But, you know, sometimes you need to have that. You need to have your guard up a little because you don't want to get burned, you know. So a lot of people will tell people when they get this card, put your guard down. Open yourself to new opportunities. I will say having your guard up is fine as long as you don't miss a new opportunity in spite of this, or because of this rather, not in spite of it. Be ready to let your guard down a little when you feel ready and when you feel like all the facts are in about something and you can make it work and you can manage it. Then we've got the Ace of Swords. A wonderful card, a card that can mean the beginning of an intellectual pursuit, or it can mean the beginning of cutting through to some truth or clarity that you need to know. Sometimes it can be something like you want to start something like a business or go into a new job, so you need to educate yourself on certain things. Say you're starting your own company, that you need to do a lot of learning about how to do that, and the tax issues that you might need to face when you first start out and can't afford somebody else to do all of that, and how to go about it, where you should locate this thing. Should it be an online thing or should it be a physical thing? You know, on and on, all those things that you would need to learn. Or maybe you want to get a promotion at work and you need to learn a bunch of things to prepare yourself for that eventuality. Or it could be anything, some intellectual pursuit. Maybe you want to read all the classic books, or you want to read all of a particular author, or you want to take up a particular course of study, learn a language, for example. Often an intellectual pursuit, the beginning of it, something that you could be very good at, something that could give you a lot of, you know, it's so important to be a lifelong learner. It could be something that really adds to your quality of life, you know, knowing another language, reading these books that you have always wanted to read and, you know, never made the time for. Carve out half an hour a day to start reading, or something of that nature. Whatever it is for you that you want to do. It's the beginning. It's an idea. It's a sword. It's something in your mind. It's a fabulous idea. And I'd love to see you put that into action. And on that note, you have the Empress. Now, if you want to have a baby, the Empress is a wonderful card to get because she's all about birthing things onto the planet. And it can be people, but it can also be ideas and the beginning of anything, any idea that you want to bring to fruition. She gives birth to whatever the idea is. And that's why she pops up, because she's a fertility. She's a fertility goddess, if you will. And she is good for fertility of the body, and she's also good for fertility of the mind. So a brilliant card, a beautiful card to have, a wonderful distraction from any negatives, because sometimes when something bad has happened or something's lost or there's something that's sad, there's nothing more therapeutic than birthing something onto the earth that's beautiful. And it could be a sculpture. You want to do a piece of art. You want to paint a picture. You know, a lot of people, you would think that this wouldn't happen now because you can learn anything on YouTube or you can learn anything, you know, easily online. But some people just don't have confidence in their skills and they don't think, well, I'm not an artist, I can't do that. But you know what? You can do anything you want to. Your mind is very strong. You can do anything you set your mind to. You guys are very magical and intuitive and very, very special people, deep thinkers. So I strongly advise you, whatever this thing is, put it into practice because you can absolutely do it. And then you've got the Wheel of Fortune. Now, the Wheel of Fortune, most people will read this card as something that's fate is going to come along, something you have no control over, something that's just the spin of the wheel, and that's what you get. I find this to be a lucky card. I absolutely find it to be a card of luck. Something good is coming your way. I'm going to commit to that, and I'd like to hear about what it is for you. So when something good, some unexpected good thing comes your way, please remember this card, and my contact information is below. I'd love to hear about it. Also, if you have any questions for my upcoming video answering your questions, feel free to send me those, and I want you to have the best week ever. So I'm sending you lots of positive energy, and I hope to talk to you very, very soon.